Tonight's episode, Photo Finish.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
At Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Sunday edition of a 2A wrap-up. We look at Instagrams on Sunday. I just put a poll out there for the people that are joining us live as an appreciation gesture for the people who got torqued and horked all around today, who tried to watch this live, moving the schedule around all over and then being late. So much apologies to the people trying to watch this live. It's been an effort on this side of the internet as well as your end of the internet. So we have a poll out there. Who wins, YouTubes or Instagrams? You can decide. It's absolutely free. Participate in that poll if you want. Otherwise, you don't have to. So what we're going to do is get together on Sundays and look at Instagrams. And we're going to take a look at the Second Amendment things that happen over there, things that are focused on the Second Amendment. It's a way to keep a finger on the pulse of what's happening and kind of cross the streams between Instagrams and the YouTubes. So again, thanks everybody who joins us live for these things. This is one of the few shows that I do in the middle of the day. Most of my stuff is done in the evenings. So welcome to the daytime people. This is our Instagram channel. Got a bunch of stuff over there. I don't think everybody has access to everything, but we have a saved folder over here. And when we look at everything in our saved folder, we see the stuff that we've saved throughout the week. Now, this week is a different one because of the Gun Rights Policy Conference last weekend. I did not do this show. So we've got basically 2 weeks worth of stuff to cover. It's going to be pretty tough. So I'm going to do less commentary and more winging. We're going to do a lot more winging this week, winging through this whole thing. So I'm going to keep zooming in for the folks that are watching. If you're listening to this in the future, my goal is to make this thing useful in the audio version as well as the watching it version. We're scrolling back and you're getting an idea of the kind of things that have been happening throughout the last couple of weeks that we've clicked on to focus on. I do this for two reasons, really. One, because it gets stuck into Instagram and it uses the Instagram system, the mechanics of Instagram to help recognize these particular posts, and you know what these posts mean. But then it also gives me a chance to do this show, which gives us a chance as human beings to go back and remember what's been going on for the last week. In this case, 2. I think I kind of remember the airplane thing and the things here. I remember looking at that video with everybody. Probably remember that. I'm going to go with this Egg McMuffin. Oh, I kind of remember this one too. So this is from September 23rd. Let's get an idea of how far back we should be going. We should be going back to about the 25th. So we're not too far off. So Cape Gun Works is a gun shop up in Massachusetts. They've got a food truck. It goes to their own place, but also other places. And this is just an example of the fine foodery you can get at their food truck. Highly recommended. It looks pretty good. This is the Gun Culture 2.0, is a professor of sociology at Wake Forest University, I think. And he does some classes on guns in society. And this was somebody from Liberal Gun Owners who did a seminar or something about the Sociological anthropological synthesis for projectile weapons universality. So, kind of interesting how long people have been winging stuff at each other. And we're winging through this one today. National Association of African American Gun Owners. M1 rifle is a semi-automatic rifle that was the service rifle of the U.S. Army during World War II and the Korean War. Did you know? I find these interesting because as a longtime gun owner, and we didn't have a lot of gun trivia back in the day. There wasn't that many guns back in the day. So we just knew some stuff that nowadays people don't pay attention to. So I dig when people, especially at the national level, are bringing up some little tidbits just to let people know, especially all these new gun owners that everybody talks about. And there's more of them all the time. There's going to be some stuff here about the 38 million, the 38th month in a row with over 1 million guns being sold. We've got lots and lots of guns being sold. Those people are going to start to figure out there's other things besides self-defense guns, and that's going to be super fun. Green Beret Foundation post picture here with a bunch of the Medal of Honor winners who are Green Berets. Let's Go Hunting is the NSSF's campaign for hunting, one of their campaigns for hunting. This says American hunters are the original conservationalists. I don't know about that, but they're definitely OG conservationalists. It says American hunters founded the wildlife conservation movement. This core community is driving much of the movement today, but facing an issue with declining participation. The recruitment, reactivation, and retention of hunters is essential in keeping our biggest conservation effort and natural heritage alive. You can contribute by joining the +1 movement. Take the pledge by bringing someone new to hunting this season. Learn more about the movement. I'd definitely like to have more resources available so I can include hunting in our coverage. I don't get to do it enough, and hunting is out of the question. I don't have any kind of resources for that, but bringing it up into our coverage would be awesome. So thanks to the people. There's a scroll at the bottom of the screen. Thanks to the people that support what we do. A lot of people grab a cup of coffee for us each month. Some people buy us lunch. That accumulates and lets us focus on this stuff without commercials or garbage in the way. Gun policy, I think this is hilarious because I do have a chunk of aluminum. I probably should have thought about bringing my chunk of aluminum over, but I like that one. When the I remember talking about this one. You never get to see what happens when people shoot AKs in the air. This is what happens when you shoot AKs in the air at the end of this video. So it's because the tracers hang in the air and look cool as hell. So if I can get it to play, I guess it ain't going to play. So when you shoot straight up, a whole bunch like a mag dump, those 30 rounds are going to shoot upwards for a while. And while they do, the tracers are going to glow and they make essentially a constellation in the air. I think it'll finally show up here. Maybe not. Nope, I guess not. It's right in the middle. I fast forwarded right past the whole thing. So now we're watching it twice as long instead of just letting it run. But you can see when you get a big group of people, it looks cool like this. I mean, it looks neat when you just shoot in one direction for sure, but it looks even better when you can shoot straight up because this happens. There you go. And most of the time you shoot out over the water, over towards people you hate or whatever, so it works. Mike Deddy talking about, or this Mike Pannone talking about, this is a couple weeks ago when everybody was discussing whether or not it's effective to train for a scenario in which you're ambushed sitting in a vehicle. I don't like when tactics and training are reflex or reactions to news of the day. It's better when we can act with intent. That Cape Gun Works, who has a food truck, they also deliver. And if you buy $300 worth of stuff, it's free delivery. It's pretty cool because of the gun laws in Massachusetts required them to do something, and they're delivering ammo themselves. I don't know if anybody's tried the new pumpkin spice Winchester 270 Winchester, but it is amazing. It's pumpkin spice season again. Rebecca Schmoy was talking about, I definitely talked about this one last week. She is a banker, I guess. She's running for office and she's a Second Amendment advocate. So when the credit card stuff went through, she considered it a challenge on all of her professional abilities, skill sets. This is the DC project in front of the House of the Congress, of the Supreme Court, or I guess it's not the House of the Supreme Court, it's just in front of the Supreme Court building. this year at their rally. Thanks to Krabby Turtle for not taking this picture, but getting one very close to that picture for us. Amaland is saying, posting this thing from some girl. It says, just a reminder that obesity kills way more people than gun violence, but there's no march to end it, which ironically would help end it, which is funny, but not really funny. But it is interesting. And remember that we have other ways to get mad than yelling about our rights or our property. We can talk about the focus on their side is unwarranted and lopsided. Locksack is a cool company. I like to post about them once in a while. And this is a review that they got from some fisherman who's talking about how great their real heavy duty polymer bags are. I definitely posted this. So we've looked at a bunch of these. There's Roll Call's Patch. There's Bannerman's house at the island. RER building classes. Come on. Did we already do this show? And I got a million of these to do. So I don't know if we talked about this one. So this is Serbu Firearms had done I think we did do this, a gun buyback gun. And this is making a 3D upgrades or 3D parts to the gun buyback design. Heller Foundation was getting ready to go to this thing on October 1st. So we're way behind on these. This was Barron getting a bunch of stuff from winning. So I don't remember what he won, but got a bunch of stuff. Got the first bayonets out there. Oh, I posted that one. NAGA is having their first convention finally next year. They've been posting about it a lot, so I like to post, let people know about it. Wildcats, the shooting team at the University of Arizona was out at the range selling some stuff. I think we did do this one already. I feel like we've done all of these. Am I going the wrong way? There's Tony smoking a cigar. I don't remember posting that. I think that was after he had volunteered for a day with the New Jersey organization for some youth orientation. There's Rhonda Ezel posting about Delaware citing her Supreme Court win or one of her Supreme Court wins as they strike down something in Delaware. It's very cool. This is a guy in Mexico who does a bunch of miniature stuff. I sent him down some things and he had posted some kind of collaborative pictures with us. So it's pretty neat. He has his miniature lever action there with the Winchester card from our deck. We're going to use those pictures for some stuff. Pennsylvania's got a ban coming with magazines. So looks like it's a bill. So this was from September 25th. Am I going the wrong way? I should be doing, this is barely the first ones. Locked and Loaded had their show. Post and let people know about that. Tony had, just posted himself in the bubble bath again, doing that. Getting people aware of I don't know what he was doing with that. I think just doing a flashback to NRAM 2019. CloverTech had celebrated 5 years of doing his live kind of Patreon lawn chair discussion where they used to shoot guns until they got scared of shooting guns. Then we got Pets for Vets posting that self-care isn't selfish. Don't ever feel taking care of yourself is selfish. If you don't take care of you, then you have nothing left to take care of others. Plus, you're allowed to just have fun once in a while, so just do it in proportion, of course. Then you've got gun policy, not looking up somebody's nostril or into somebody's eyeball, just somebody's printer printing something, and it says limiting the mean by which peaceable people acquire arms is about one thing: the unconstitutional and immoral monopolization of power. The state is not entitled to cut off access to self-manufacturing of arms under the Second Amendment, period. So a very wordy thing on a thing. I don't know, it's a meme. So put it up as an example of the kind of messaging that's getting out there. Smith & Wesson talking about why did I post this? This is fake. I can't imagine. Oh, maybe I posted it. It's because it says 30 super carry on it. Look at that goofy grip angle. People are so desperate to not have a Glock that they're willing to shoot this weird looking Beasley grip angle. If that's comfortable, then I feel sorry for the extra bones in your hand, which would be required to be able to shoot that goofy grip angle. Goofiest grip angle I've ever seen. But I don't get paid to sell you grip angles, so enjoy your grip angles. Is there a swelling at the back of this thing to make racking easier? Oh my goodness. Back in my day, I wouldn't have to have mansplained to Smith & Wesson how to make their gun better. So this is a Girl in a Gun Club, and there's these two ladies who are sitting at a table at a gun show in Oklahoma, minding their business, and then Rambo standing behind them, buying a gun, I guess. So Sylvester Stallone went and bought a gun, and then one of the ladies gave him a gun case for his gun because he didn't have a gun case when he bought the gun. So there's a picture of Sylvester Stallone buying a gun at a gun show in Oklahoma from a couple of ladies who are manning a booth for the Girl in a Gun Club. That's what I'm talking about. This is pretty neat. I'm going to see what people think about this one. I guess it might copyright me.
Directly. This is sine. Notice the length of the red line is mirrored below. This is cosine, the horizontal component of circular motion. Again, notice the lengths.
Is it glitching or playing?
Here we have secant. We can visualize it as the secant of a circle. And this is cosecant. Next function is tangent. As you can see,
I think that's copyrightable. Damn it. Stupid Instagram lets you use real music behind stuff. Anyway, I shouldn't have played the music part, but he's basically just saying the different mathematical formulas. I thought this was super neat. If I would have known, or if this stuff would have existed back in, I don't know what this was, trigonometry, I think. But, you know what I'm saying? Visualizing some of this stuff is a billion times faster than trying to figure it out from numbers, at least for me. I don't know if it is for everybody else, but like understanding what these wiggles mean when you can see them in a relationship to a triangle and a circle wiggle into each other makes things a lot more understandable. And there's a couple of these things out there that not necessarily from that channel. That channel almost exclusively does those weird math visualizations, but there's some interesting visualizations out there. Look for whatever it might be that you're trying to figure out and then type visualizations after it. And more than likely somebody has done some sort of a graphical way to interpret whatever confusing thing it is you're trying to figure out, whether it be electronics or complicated stuff, zeroing, you know, like just different stuff. Like people put a lot of effort into accomplishing education out there, and then they share it. So AZ Firearms has a bunch of stuff coming up, and I don't remember if this one already happened. This one probably already happened. They usually post their stuff right before the auctions. This was a video of a dog. I forget what the dog is doing. Oh, this one's pretty good. So basically it's a dog and a monkey, and the dog and the monkey get in a big fight, and then the dog makes a phone call and a bunch of dogs come running, and then the monkey makes a phone call and a bunch of monkeys come running, and then there's a bunch of different monkey dog skirmishes. One of the monkeys has a knife, and then one of the dogs has a knife, and then there's these big monkey dog wars. That's how it starts. That dog makes the phone call, a bunch of dogs show up. This monkey gets pissed, makes a phone call, a bunch of monkeys show up. Little puppy grabs a knife, other monkey grabs a knife, monkeys on motorcycles, everything turns into a giant monkey puppy riot. So a lot of people say the internet's a waste of time. I'm telling you, there's good stuff. Lots of documentaries on the internet. This is the this was the 13th anniversary of the Green Beret Foundation. So they had a pretty cool swag box going on. You can help a lot of people out individually or in groups of you know, people that have experienced things, and consider that. There's lots of people out there that can benefit from redistribution of people's goodwill. This is a place in Oklahoma that makes authentic rebuilds, often salvaging post-ops or salvaging pre-ban. Is that what they call them? Anyway, the transferables, pre-86 transferables. If they get, what's the word, like shot out or broken or something, Mike can put them back together pretty good. He posts some pictures of that stuff, and it's usually pretty legit, accuracy-wise. Small business owners, this is from Rebecca Schmoy. Small business owners, what do you need the government to do or stop doing to help your business thrive? All right, so here's how I'm going to mansplain this one. What are you making all these weird gaps and whatnot? Adjust the size of this font so it says, what do you need the government to do or stop doing? That should be 2 separate lines to help your business thrive. Come on, make it easier for us to read. Our state legislature needs your input. You are the expert. So this is someone who's running for Congress in Kansas. And she's already asking small business owners what they need from their government and what they might need or not need, right? Hunter's Gold is supporters of all kinds of things. And after listening to Clover's last interview, I'm a big fan of them. So, and what they've done for the shooting community. So here they are supporting A Girl in a Gun Club's Fall Fest, which is pretty cool. So an exciting day at the range. Ladies are arriving to take part in a 3-gun university. Everyone needs appropriate eye and ear protection while in the range. Hunter's HD Gold is a leader in the eyewear and silver sponsor at the fall event. So it's probably silver and gold. So it's probably the second highest level sponsor. Pretty cool. So if you know you're buying something from them, you know it's going into the community. That's pretty cool. Cody Firearms Experience. There's garbage in Cody, Wyoming, and then there's a really cool museum called the Dugout Gun Museum, and then there's this really cool range and gun shop, and it's kind of a museum in Cody. It's called the Cody Firearms Experience. They have a range. They have other facilities there for people that are interested in shooting. It's right outside the east gate of Yellowstone. And here they have like letting people know that back on the first Wednesday of every month, they have ladies' night, shoot, then sip. Ladies are ready for a girls' night. First Wednesday in October, all ladies of all shooting levels are welcome to come and shoot with us. It's half price entry, and we'll have snacks to have with your wine after. We are also staying open later so everyone has a chance to shoot. So what's the deal? What do you think about that? 1, letting ladies shoot. 2, letting people shoot and then have wine after? What? Is that okay with you? I've had people that got a real fit about this that really do not like it and don't think that they should be anywhere near each other. So I think it's cool, and I think it's cool that they're doing stuff to keep to normalization of guns. Same way that people go and wing axes at each other. They're probably drinking while they're winging axes at each other. I really don't know, but I'm assuming they do. And darts. People get drunk and then they wing darts around at each other. And I'm almost positive there's no laws against that. Let's see. Then we got Gabby Franco. Tyrants in disguise manipulate people into giving their rights away. Part of the process includes promoting fear and hate through classical conditioning. And then she says, often not even data or facts help many recognize how their conditioned response elicits an unjustifiable fear or hate towards something or someone. The truth is that people from all walks of life may fall for the media and politician strategy of classical conditioning. These so-called leaders are tyrants in disguise, and they know it. So if you don't know who Gabby is, then check it out, because when the message comes from somebody like Gabby, I think that has more insight and more power to it, since she's experienced it before in her lifetime. So now we got Dong's Guns. It is a gun shop in Tulsa, one of my favorite gun shops in the country, based on how cool it is. Says that it's official. We are the best. Thank you everyone for your votes. We could not have done it without you. And it's a plaque of they got from, I guess, Tulsa World, which must be some kind of newspaper. And they got the best gun shop in the world, best firearm store in the world for 2022. I don't know if it's the whole best one in the whole world or not, but it is probably in my top 20. Well, it's definitely in my top 20. I'm almost positive it's in my top 20. I don't know if it's in my top 10, but it is a really cool gun shop. And if you're ever in Tulsa, you might want to check it out. Then we got gun policy with this. I don't know who this is. Some Democrat from Texas, maybe. And it says in Texas, it's easier to buy an AR-15 than it is to buy a beer. And then they got a Photoshop of her eyeballs and her teeth or whatever. And then in one of those hats where you got beers coming out of it. And she's drinking it out of some kind of a tube. And then I put in here, well, are the beers wearing Kevlar vests, right? 102 likes. Thank you very much. 102 likes. Only one person got more likes than me. And it says you don't need to fill out a 4473 for each beer purchase, bruh. That one got more than me. But I got 102 for are the beers wearing Kevlar vests. You're welcome. All right, next is VCDL. So you've got the three of the dudes from VCDL who get a lot of stuff done. And here they are sitting at a table at a gun show. And they don't even do it with a big sign. Arizona Citizens Defense League has this big PVC type of situation with big vinyl signs. These guys are just sitting there. One of the most successful state-level organizations and some of the main volunteers are just sitting there at a table at a gun show. Authenticity. And they're sharing it on Instagram. Come on. Come on. That's how you get it done. Some people lead the way and just do it and then turn around and go, come on, and bring people with them. And that's what VCDL is. So has anybody seen this video from back in the day? This was in reaction to the Florida. So this was a whole bunch of people getting staged up for Florida. I don't know if they showed this on regular TV or not, but there you go. This is the, what do you call it? The diversity shoot from September 29th. So it might have been from September 28th in New Jersey, I think. Next was the Liberal Gun Owners podcast, the Sociology of Guns lecture, the human weapon relationship. And this is that thing that we looked at a picture of in the beginning. So this is Liberal Gun Owners posting about how they were presenting at Professor Yamane's thing. So it's sort of like from both sides of that session. This is Jason, who used to run the Texas Rangers, and he did international crime in Texas. And this is him standing here in Tucson, just north of Tucson. That's Picacho Peak right there. And what's he talking about?
A couple different trends. One is the amount of trafficking that's going on. Last week in one shift, my guys had 5 traffic stops on one shift. In one shift, they had 5 stops totaling 27 illegal aliens in those cars, amongst those 5 cars. They are now enlisting our own U.S. citizens. And what's more alarming, they're enlisting teenagers. We've seen it as young as 14 years old driving. They're going on Snapchat and TikTok and social media platforms, and they're advertising for kids to make $1,000 a body. We've heard even up to $2,000 per person that they transport. And they're so in need of people to help them transport and smuggle humans that they're actually enlisting people outside of the state of Arizona. Cochise County has caught people that have flown into Arizona, rented a car, driven down to the border, picked people up, took them to Phoenix, came back to the airport, dropped off the rental car, and went back home. Guys, I can tell you, I can validate right now that.
See, picking up what they're letting down. People are flying into Arizona, renting a car, driving down to the border, grabbing a bunch of people, hauling them through the zone where Border Patrol stops everybody. It's that valuable to get people through. Think about that. What's so valuable about getting them people through? Who's paying for all that? Well, we know who's paying for it. How are they paying for all that? A lot of people distracted by certain things, and a lot of people understand there's a lot to pay attention to. It's all of our effort together that gets the important stuff paid attention to, hopefully. So this one is from AmmoLand. Common sense tells us that securing our schools, blah, blah, blah. I don't like this one. I don't know why I clicked this one. Maybe to show like, come on, really? Do we need to be like this? I don't think we need to be like that. People who understand the situation understand the situation. People who don't understand the situation are not going to be moved by that messaging. So let's adjust the messaging to what works for them and then move on, right? There's no point in doing something just because it appeals to us. Let's do whatever appeals to them and get the F on with this. Ozzy, big fan of Ozzy, and he is a big supporter of many people out here, and he's got these mag wraps, I guess. I thought it was a dip. It's a very tight wrap, I guess. So anyway, very cool. I didn't know they did them with custom like that. It makes it look super cool. So this is it's a PMag with Ozzy's logo on it, a wolf howling at the moon as a black silhouette on a rock in front of, I don't know, clouds, I guess. And then the moon back there, it says Ozzy, like, you know, wink, wink. In that kind of font. So I think this is super cool. Pot of Gold Auctions, they do all kinds of interesting stuff at auction up there. And they've been doing this like after action for a while now, letting people know what they sold for. So for example, this vintage motorcycle with sidecar sold for $1,900. I don't know if that's a toy or if that's real, but just saying, if that's real, come on, man. So interesting. It's neat to see the auctions, but it is cool to show them or have them post the after actions like that. So this was CNN went out with some people and watched a group of ladies who just had one friend out of the group who knew about guns. She might even have been an instructor. I forget. She certainly knew how to hold her, you know, what's the word? Handle herself at the range capably as an instructor for her friends. So it's just a group of friends. I don't know if they're from work or just, you know, how ladies are. They all met each other in the bathroom or something. And then they all went out to this range and self-taught, or, you know, got instruction from their friend as opposed to like scheduling a class or something. And they enjoyed it and got over their glitches or whatever because they figured out that it's just a thing to do and they don't have to love it, but now at least they can understand it. So they've gone and up to the line and across the line to see what the other side of the conversation is about. And then the CNN person, the reporter, question mark, with quotes around it, the reporter goes around and keeps asking everybody, are you sure? Are you sure you liked it? Are you sure it was okay? And then it just ends. So basically everybody is harping on this like it's the best thing that's ever happened because CNN didn't slap us around. So I'm not going to go, I'm unliking it. Even though I like NSSF, I don't care about CNN. I'm using this as an example. You notice there was no heart there. But just because, if an asshole is mean to you every day and then the asshole just isn't mean to you, you don't go over and have a conversation with the asshole. They're still an asshole. So they have to do a lot more than whatever. I agree that we should be using the media. I think Mike from San Diego Gun Owners has a good point that the media is a tool we should be utilizing more as a tool. But I'm not going to jump all over everything and stop the presses just because CNN wasn't super mean to us. They were trying to be mean through that whole article. And anyway, we have to appreciate our bites, our nibbles when we get them. This is another one from Self-Care from Pets for Vets. So it says self-care to me is, and then you're supposed to fill it in and then post. Nobody did though. So one person said self-care to me is hanging with my dogs. And somebody else said self-care for me is hard. So that shows, that's from a bunch of days ago. It shows that not a lot of people are interested or willing to consider paying attention to themselves, which is frustrating because we should all be able to pay attention to ourselves, right? Let's see. So the next thing is Guns for Everyone, and they do a physical newspaper. And I need to definitely get with Edgar and get a bunch of different ones. I think I only have number 1, and I was hoping to get a copy of more than that. So if they're still around, I'm going to try to get some copies of these. But Guns for Everyone is an organization in Colorado, and for a while now, 5 issues now this year, they've been making an actual newspaper that goes out for free, and it can be picked up at ranges and gun shops and I'm sure gun shows, that kind of thing. I think it's a great idea, and they do some more than just fluff. Like they're challenging people, they're informing people, they're getting people to think about stuff and to be better activists. Pretty decent motivation or pretty decent goals for it. If you can know a gun shop that would be interested in having it there, I'm sure that would be useful for them to find out about. Another one from NAGA is, did you know that gunpowder was originally made by mixing elemental sulfur, charcoal, and potassium nitrate, which is saltpeter, which is effectively pee, right? So sulfur, you find that laying around, yellow rocks. Charcoal, you make that by burning wood. And then you leave pee sit for a while and it turns white, and then now you got potassium nitrate. Boom, that's gunpowder. So I like it when people break stuff down, let people know that there's nothing, you can't stop the data. The data exists. All right, so Guns for Everyone is doing some strategies to get people aware of what's going on with their channel and stuff. They also have this campaign going to make a girl wrestler patch. So they're saying the first person to get a tattoo gets $500. So it's interesting. So I know some people who would probably get a tattoo for a $500 bonus. And there might be tattoo places that'll say, sure, if you get us on Instagram making the tattoo, we'll give it to you for free. So now somebody might even make money getting that tattoo. So the question is, would you get a tattoo for $500? Would you get this tattoo for $500? I guess you get either one. And then the next question is, what do you think about that as a campaign? I know a couple of people have done it more of like homages or remembrances and that kind of thing. But as an actual campaign, how many people you think are willing to do tattoos or be part of a whole tattoo thing? Would you encourage people to get tattoos for your channel? Question mark. One of my favorite pictures from all of AmCon. Let's count how many people are at AmCon. The 2 people from Virginia Citizens Defense League, Nikki Stallard. I don't know who this guy is. Richard from No Lawyers, Guns and Money. Kid Safe, Derek. Old guy, some dude. Could that be Jeff? This is Amanda's brother, I think. Then you got these 2 dudes were, I know who they are, but I can't remember. Then you got this guy who said some stuff. That guy who I don't know who it is. I guess I can't zoom in on this. I can't think of her name. Beth, XOO Beth. And then Charlie. Oh, that's John Petrolino. So let's count them. Oh, Rhonda Mary, and then I can't think of who's sitting behind Rhonda. And then that guy is, oh man, he's an author. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 32. So we didn't see Amanda in that picture, so she's 33. I don't remember naming him, so 34 for Craig. We didn't see Masa in that picture, so that's 35 or 36, let's say. We didn't see Alan in there, so that's 37. What's his face? 38. They were already in it, but now we can see 2 more 3940 people. This dude was in the picture, but I don't know who it is. Somebody from GOA. Oh, I don't remember seeing Dan in there. So we had 40-ish. I don't remember what number we're at. So something like 40 people from their pictures. And I didn't see Gail in the pictures, so that's 41. So now we know there's approximately 41 people at AmCon, which is pretty decent. So thanks to Virginia Citizens Defense League for posting that. I even said back a week ago, thank you for being there. Best pick of the turnout yet. You both asked some good questions too, because they did. All right, and then, all right, so then the next one is barely last week still. This clown just can't tell the truth. Keep leading the way and pushing back against the anti-rights agenda and federal assault weapons ban. 9mm, so they're just harping about the 9mm thing. Reason TV must have been doing a thing about it. So we got this Stop Harassing Owners of Rifles Today, the SHORT Act. It says this is from Gun Owners of America. This is, they're saying that the SHORT Act is a major milestone on the road to repealing the NFA. For the first time, a bill eliminates the unconstitutional taxation, regulation, and registration of short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and any other weapons. Owners of SBRs and SBSs will no longer need to get permission from the ATF each time they cross state lines. If your state law only allows one of these, if they are registered in compliance with the NFA, the SHORT Act will ensure that you remain in compliance without requiring registration or any other gun control. If your state has its own unconstitutional tax, I don't know. So I guess they're trying to make something that deals with short barrel rifles and short barrel shotguns and AOWs. And this thing explains it in the text. There's another one where they explain it in a series of slides. So, you know, are you a fan of fighting back and pushing so that the other side has to defend and has to worry about losing ground instead of just making up attacks and throwing them at us and watching us react? I'm a big fan. I don't know if I have to love every single rock that gets thrown. Does everyone have to inspect every single rock that gets thrown on a catapult and winged into a castle? Or are you satisfied that if they're throwing rocks in the castle, it's probably okay, right? I think some people's tendency is to go, oh, let's examine every rock before it gets thrown, and let's make sure it's the perfect strategy. So if the rock breaks through, it does exactly what we want every single time. I like the idea of being able to get to the point where you're able to do that with each throw, but that doesn't come through sitting around criticizing the first person to throw. That comes from making throws and then going back and investigating your throws at some point, like taking intermissions and evaluating. That's what I was looking for. Evaluating your effectiveness and then taking effective action and then repeating it and then stop and evaluate, take effective, change corrective actions, start again, do it again. And after some time, every single rock you throw is going to have the best effect. And eventually you don't have to throw rocks anymore. And then you just have to make everybody remember what you can do, how effective you can be when you throw rocks. All right, so this another one from NAGA is talking about October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, be aware of stuff that kills more people than guns for sure, right? So having gun organizations that pay attention to things that kill way more people than guns, pretty good thing. This one says, though Black women are less likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer, they are 41% more likely to die from it compared to white women. Today, we want to spread awareness and acknowledge survivors and show love to those currently fighting the battle. So I guess being aware of the issue is one thing, but understanding what creates that is, the essence of it and affect and changed on that level would be good. Let's see. So next you get Pets for Vets, Saturday morning inspiration. And this says, grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. That's a pretty interesting one. It can hit you depending on where you're at with stuff. That might hit you in a different way. but realizing that time is a moving thing and that we experience for periods of time, and that, you know, as time goes on, new stuff will experience new stuff, and that'll change and evolve our awareness of what's happening. So big picture, let's keep going. Everybody's got something to add to the mix, right? Clover Tack, making a big deal about how he went to Gun Rights Policy Conference, lording it over everybody that he lives within driving distance of it. And he went there without any kind of help from anybody. I think he sold a gun to get there, or we're not supposed to talk about that. But some people are willing to make sacrifices in order to be part of what's happening. Then you got KidSafe posting the Gun Rights Policy Conference speakers and I guess he's just posting his bio, his blurb, letting people on his feed know that he's a speaker at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. I think that's important for people who, especially people that are crowdfunded, people that are working through the support of others. Acknowledging the accomplishments is important because those people, one, want to have some kind of archive of what has been accomplished, but also people aren't always paying attention. So giving them that archive is literally just useful. Like it lets them, oh, like, okay, I didn't realize this was happening this year. It's also useful for yourself as the creator. When you go back to do like a yearly wrap up, if you never tooted your own horn, you got to go remember everything you did. You toot your own horn once in a while and you can find those parts and more effectively toot your own horn later on in the year. And again, if you're not doing that, then you're not really creating content. You're just playing around. You need to be able to articulate the goal of your project and the accomplishments of your project. You don't have to always win, but you should be able to show where you've been doing work, right? Show your work. And like, there's no finish line, but it's always more easy to keep going when you can look back and see that you've gone down a path rather than just treaded water the whole time. And the way to understand you've made a path is to leave some breadcrumbs. It might not seem like you've made a lot of movement or a lot of headway. You can never know what kind of current there's been, but leaving yourself some notes, leaving yourself some breadcrumbs, you make it possible for yourself to be self-motivated. And that's ultimately important when you're doing something that's important, when you're doing something with an objective that not everyone is necessarily on board with, agrees with, or is able to participate in. Self-motivation is what keeps some of these projects that we look at now over years going through those times, those thin times. All right, well, here we go. We got AZ Armory, one of our friends here in Arizona that does cool stuff, mostly with vehicles, but also with bell-fed machine guns. They go to a lot of the events, and this is a vehicle that they've been playing with quite a bit. And in this version of this Humvee with 4 doors, they've got belt-fed mounted machine guns on every door, in the turret, in the back, and then extras and different mines laying around, all kinds of ammo and extra runners all around. And this is an arm that they made. I don't know enough about these things to know if they made these arms for this purpose or if they rebuilt these arms. But a couple of years back, they made a big deal about building these arms to hold the bell-fed rifles or machine guns, I guess, out the doors of the Humvees. Looks like somebody's giving them shit about their tires. Says blowing the dust off our AZ Armory gun truck, adding some more stuff and getting it ready for the nicer Arizona weather, because it is nice now. It's getting to be the weather everybody else hates. So I wanted to do a cartoon of this. This is just a freaking awesome picture of this thing all loaded up with the machine guns pointing out. They've been building guns and doing cool stuff for a while. So I put it in here mainly to give them a shout out, but also I might want to try to cartoon one of those. They're pretty cool. Foss posted some stuff for Every Second Matters, a well-balanced breakfast of 556. Krabby Turtle also posting for Every Second Matters with a decent picture of a Taurus busted open on a table. Clover talking crap about Buck Ease. Smeggy posts on Every Second Matters a selection of patches in his collection Is that every one? I don't even know. He might have every single one and a few ones that I sewn back when I had the robot here in Tucson. Here's Krabby's puppy. Some people tell us that you're not supposed to put puppies on the internet or on Instagram. Suck on it. Locked and Loaded's other channel or other show. So this is a week later. Tony doing another diversity shoot. Looks like October 13th, which I'm actually talking about before it happens, I think, right? Oh, yeah. So October 13th, there's another one in Woodland Park, New Jersey. This is Guns for Everyone, talking about the Gun Rights Policy Conference, how Pincus was talking about their paper. So they're talking about Pincus talking about their paper at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. Probably one of the few things that was new at the conference, you know, something that actually happened this year. A lot of rehashing and a lot of summaries that we've heard before at the conference. So my sister's keeper is a firearms instructor / I don't know what you'd call her, like just general practical skill instructor for ladies. And this is talking about their third women's all-inclusive 3-day self-defense retreat. So it brings ladies together. They teach them emergency preparedness, vehicle maintenance, resilience, candle making, yoga, and firearm safety. So just like 9mm shooters, except in this case, focused on the ladies. And they get together and they learn all these things to make them less, unaware. I don't say ignorance, that's a bad word, but like unaware of things like maybe vehicle maintenance, unless someone's told about vehicle maintenance, so just learn it by, reading a manual or something. You learn it by having somebody poke at stuff and tell you what stuff is and what to smell for or what to look for and that kind of thing. So super cool. A lot of times people say blah, 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 and this is actually getting people to be empowered to know how to work their shit so that they don't get taken advantage of and they know, maybe something they might be more interested in. And I'm guessing the yoga and stuff, a lot of these ladies shoot 9mm, so they need to calm down and de-stress. Let's see. So TV told me I don't need to protect myself from tyranny. If I give up my gun, state agents will always protect me. So I don't know what's the deal. I guess everybody can just use cartoons now, but that's a national level organization just using a cartoon. They don't care. I don't know. To get the point across, at least you're looking up a cartoon's eyeball. It says the state and its agents have no duty to protect you. Fight forward for your right to self-defense by helping us beat the Biden agenda. I don't know who this is marketing or messaging to necessarily. I mean, I don't know how, do kids watch Simpsons anymore? I don't. I haven't watched Simpsons in forever. So I don't get this. I don't know who this is messaged to, but I put it in there. Uh-oh, I clicked off and I need to find where we were at in the list. Look how far up we are. Are we getting to the end? Probably not. Am I going to run into the other shows? Probably. So a bunch of radio shows happened today. I'll take this opportunity to say I usually smash right into a couple of the different radio shows that'll happen on Sunday. So if you like listening to this, you'll love listening to the radio shows that also happened today. We'll probably link to one. I'll try to figure out how to link to one, and then I'll link to it at the end of this. Let's see. Vehicle prepping is way a big deal. Like in a good way, I think you mean. This is the answer if I win the lottery. Oh, you mean that vehicle? I want a belt-fed Hummer. Good car for driving in your neck of the woods. Matt's the best dude. What? Prefer steel bearings. Gun Owners America had a video called "When is the best time to repeal the NFA?" It addressed people waiting for the perfect time to fight. Oh, really? Please throw a link to that up. I'd be interested in that. Was that recent or is that like a while ago? Robert is saying Oklahoma is a great gun state. I agree. Oklahoma's pretty good. It has a panhandle, but I won't hold it against you. Of all the panhandles, it's the narrowest of the panhandles, and I'm sure if people asked nicely, you would give it up with the other panhandle to be a 57th state called the Panhandle States. I don't care what they call themselves, actually. I'll allow the people in the panhandles to call themselves whatever they want. Let's see. That is why animals shouldn't own guns. I don't know about that. I don't think the monkeys would have the same fight with the dogs, the puppies, if they had guns. If everybody had guns, they would probably live well together. I won't watch a channel that only lets the subs use the chat room. Just one of my things. What do you mean? The Second Amendment Foundation? Or does somebody else do that? Second Amendment Foundation does it because they got spam once and they don't know how to react to it. So that's what they did. And they probably don't even know it's on. They don't know that it's offensive to people either. Like they're just tone deaf to the internet, really. All right, so let's get into gun policy, which is, pretty much making $1 million a year and doing all the work. I don't say they're doing all the work. They're just doing most of the work on the internet. They might not be doing all the lawsuits, but are they doing as many lawsuits as everybody else? I don't know. Some of the gun show chat do that. I don't know what gun show chats. What do you mean? Let's see. So you mean like the big ass gun channels do that? I haven't been in a chat that does that except for Second Amendment Foundation. So I guess I've missed them. LA County residents, only you can stop the county supervisors from enacting these anti-gun or anti-rights ordinances. So I guess LA County wants to ban 50 cal. They want to ban firearms on county property. They want to require stores to maintain fingerprint logs. They want to require stores to report sales and inventory logs. And they want to increase the number of sensitive places where people probably can't carry. So yeah, guess what? When you squish or when you like knock a bunch of roaches out of someplace, they go running around. If you knock a wasp nest out of someplace, they go flying around. Like, yeah, guess what? It isn't easy. It isn't all one scoop and you're done. One scoop and forget it. That's how some people want their 2A. Like, let me just donate $30. You do one scoop and we're free. That's how I want it to work. I'll sign up. I will send $30 to that. If that happens, somewhere we got that set up, I'll put $30 into that. All right, so Shooting Gallery New England is a gunsmith for the Cape Gun Works gun shop, and they had Tony Simon on. So there you go. That was happening live on the YouTube. Pretty good conversation. You had Krebs, firearms manufacturer in Illinois, posting the remembrance of Hogue. So the Hogue grips, people may or may not be familiar with the rubber grips for firearms called Hogue. That guy is a person. Hogue is the name of a person who started the company, and I prefer them over Pachmeyer or Ergo personally. I really like Hogue. They've been a pretty cool company. They've done some neat stuff. They seem like nice people from people who I know who worked with them. I've never worked with them. I haven't ever tried really. I think one time I tried to get AK's furniture from them and they never gave it to me. But otherwise, most other people that have worked with them have had good things to say. So they interact with the community in an interesting way. The dude was a race pilot. So he would fly around in airplanes and race airplanes, and he died racing airplanes just this year. So, if you're going to go, I guess, I don't know, but that's what happened. So this is Krebs posting that in memorandum. Not everything lasts forever. Nobody lives forever. So appreciate who you got. My dog just walked in here. When this is all over, I'm going to go find where she went, which I know where it is, on the bed. And I'm going to go grab her and I'm going to squeeze her and rub her and then give her a tummy rubbing. And then I'm going to kiss her a bunch of times and then she'll squirm. At that point, she's pissed and she doesn't like any of it. But I'm going to keep holding on to her and wiggle her. So that's what you got to do every once in a while. Because you only got so many times to do that. This is Santee going to Eric's birthday. And I don't really, I don't dig selfies. I think it's lame. But as you watch people progress, it's one of the phases of being around. You're going to want to do selfies with people. People all do it. Some people move on. Some people never get past it. We're going to see where Santee goes with it. But what I also like is to see the stuff, look over their shoulders and see what's going on, right? You get to see how big a party it was, who all showed up, what kind of thing is happening. This time the weather was great. There's been times it rained and stuff. And look at everybody's there. Like, it's a big, giant get-together. And for the most part, I don't know of anything else that brings the community together just to hang out and not be, I mean, it's encouraging. It lets you do some stuff, get some stuff accomplished, but it's also just a big get together and hang out. It's pretty cool concept, and nobody but Eric bothered to do it. And what is this? I don't even keep track, 10th year or something he did it. So again, I don't really care about the party aspect of it or that part, but the part that it's in the community is neat. And I definitely like watching the people that have been interested to go finally go. Now pay attention to the people that go and who keeps going and who quits going and that kind of thing. That's one of the things you're allowed to pay attention to and remember. So here we go. Cape Gun Works posted this because it was National Puppy Day. What was going on? I can't play the video, or I can't play the audio because it's copyrightable. So when it starts, that is Arlo, I think, their dog. And then I don't know if these are customer dogs or if these are, so it says yesterday was National Bring Your Dog to Work Day, but that's every day for Arlo. And then this is Jack. So these are customers. Pick up his Optic, little puppy, picking up a web order. There we go. And then other puppies bringing in their stuff. So right out. Domestic Violence Month. So people are going to be posting about that. You can ignore that stuff or you can pass it along. You never know when someone's going to find the encouragement to maybe make a phone call or ask somebody. There's lots of girls out there, lots of encouraging stuff, lots of empowering stuff, lots of people to look up to, lots of people to contact. So, you know, the awareness using the internet, it's a tool, and we're allowed to use it as a tool. So if we're going to use it with intent, you know, what kind of messages you want to get out there. And when people are going to go to all the trouble of making nice graphics that you can use and effectively or efficiently get information out there, doesn't always have to be for you. It can be for others too. Stuff that's important, stuff that needs reach. Let's see. So next is Gun Owners Radio, one of the radio shows that'll happen today. This is the philosophy of gun control. Teenagers are roaring through town at 90 miles an hour where the speed limit is 25. Your solution is to lower the speed limit to 20. You know, these analogies, like that works to some people, I think. So I like them. When you have to read them, I don't know. Like that could be a picture maybe or something. It says when it comes to gun control, common sense ain't so common. Oh, what do you know? So I won't even get into where that came from. So next is Keltec posted this. Want to learn the best firearms cleaning practices? Hint, it's not hanging them up on a clothesline, and it's got a bunch of their guns hanging up on a clothesline. I just thought that's kind of funny. And an opportunity for, you know, maybe there's a gun cleaning company out there. Maybe they've got a shield on their logo. Who knows? You know, maybe they could use that somehow. Speaking of opportunities, this is the second place finish in a limited division at a Girl and a Gun Fall Fest. They got the prize pack here with a bunch of stuff, including a bunch of stuff. So we got some Ear Pro from Brownells, got the Surefire flashlight. That's probably money right there. That lead off wipes. I think those things are pretty cool. You got a patch going on there. That's cool. Notice how girl patches are all girl looking. And then some kind of pouch, some kind of like, oh wait, she also got a shotgun. Thank you, Walter Arms, for the PDP F series. Oh, maybe she got a gun too. But anyway, I just thought that was cool, showing off a prize pack, just reminding people that there's lots of different things happening out there. Clotheslines don't clean your clothes. They dry them. That's a good point, unless it's raining. You know, I'm just saying. Let's see. Well, I prefer the gun channels selfies. 92. You have to say bowl full of 2A. I want my bowl full of 2A. What I don't use, I'll save for later. Let's see. Some lawsuits cost orders of magnitudes more than others. Don't count out SAF. No, that's a good point. And you never know how much the next one's going to cost and that kind of thing. So there's no way. But if you listen to Reload last week, one of the most profound things I've ever heard anybody summarize it as, of all the things you can do, lawsuits are about the cheapest and easiest, most efficient way to get bang for your buck. Why? Because look at the organization making $16 million that don't do nothing and keeps raising $16 million, not doing anything. Lawsuits. A semi-automatic fires one shot per trigger. Wait, a semi-automatic fires one shot per single pull of the trigger. True or false? Again, just giving people an opportunity to have a discussion about some of the basics. Knowing that there's a lot of people following their socials that are brand new to everything. Kind of interesting. Knowing the tool and how to use it. Knowing when to use the tool and how to use the tool. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to show people some of the clunkiest stuff that's happening out there, along with some of the most artisan work that's happening out there, like a master of the craft. It's always fun to watch a master. All right, so this is a weird iron-on of a kitten with, I don't know what it is. It's an underfolder without the stock, I guess, AK, and it says Me Against the World. And it says, my actual feelings when I teach and write about guns, negotiating between guns bad and my guns, which is the kid's way of saying this person is frustrated because he's constantly walking the line between people who appreciate what he's doing versus people that don't, versus people who hate guns versus people that like guns and that don't understand what he's doing, walking the line between. So anyway, I said, thanks for walking that line. And somebody else said, you're doing solid work, but otherwise he didn't get any feedback on that one. Then you got Brooke Cheney. How do you improve your shooting skills? Also doesn't get any feedback on it. I watch. So we do all that, let the robot spell Connecticut for you, and then say post. Human beings on the other side of things all the time. So you got AK-47 shooter, found this is a cool dude who I've known on the internet for a long time, mostly through Instagram. And I don't think we've ever met. No, I don't think we've ever met. And he found this shirt for $4. And it's effectively insert from a thing that I've seen before. And it's a bunch of 7.62 by 39 in a quote random pattern that is tiled. It's a tiled random pattern of 7.62 by 39. So it looks like a sea of 7.62 by 39 just laying on a pile or on the floor or something. And then over that, they put high def images of all these different rifles, an AK-74, an AR, like a Bushmaster looking thing, and like another AK with a grenade launcher on it, and a SCAR and some yellow AR in there for some reason, probably just to add some color. And then it ends up looking kind of like a Hawaiian shirt and really cool. Got it for $8. So I wonder who made that. I bet you they sold pretty well. You found it at a thrift store or something. Oops, I clicked twice. You can tell my thing is glitching because, oh yeah. So that was a video. So this is a video where Toby was on with Grace Curley on Tuesday. So they didn't post on YouTube. They just posted on Instagram about being on Grace Curley. You had to go to her YouTube. You had to go to her website and watch the show from Rumble, because the Grace Curley show only streams on Rumble. So Ron Wayne, who you may have seen in the comments, is a supporter of a lot of channels out there, has got to 12,410. So 12,410. Very cool set of numbers, and commemorated it with a bunch of 410 cartridges around his phone. Pretty cool way. I like it when people commemorate a decent number instead of a dumb round number. So 12,410. Very cool number to reach. Well done. So I keep posting about this Pets for Vets. I know it's a catchy way to say stuff. So a lot of people refer to Pets for Vets, but this is an actual organization. I don't know who they are. I've never met them, but I knew it was a lady that started the whole thing. And it shows here in their, this thing that they've been doing, some kind of project they've been doing, 10 days of gratitude. In this day of it, they thank their advisory team, which is a diverse, multidisciplinary team of advisors to Pets for Vets, Inc., Each person brings different areas of expertise that continually helps us grow and expand our organization. So I had no idea. I thought they were just an Instagram channel, but obviously it's something bigger than that. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people on this thing. Am I counting that right? 9 people on this thing. A veterinarian liaison, another veterinarian liaison, and then a couple of people from different things. And then they say things that I don't know what they are, like KPA. I don't know what that means. But evidently, there's a lot of people on this team. Which I guess makes sense because they pretty consistently put out decent posts that are both inspiring and interesting and lighthearted and every once in a while useful or important. Speaking of useful and educational, every once in a while important, here's NRA talking about Fox News using a Star Trek meme. So that's what happens when the NRA tries to use memes. Then you got Boomstick Babe, which I guess is in Colorado. She's one of the girl channels. If you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. Restraint is power. That's a tough one, especially for the youngins. What age were you when you figured out that restraint is power? That once you figured out not to be triggered. And that when you control when you're triggered, that you got the power and you take it away from the people who go around figuring out how to trigger people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of power. So now you got Julie Galoob advertising a thing that's happening in October in Texas, and it's called Celebrating Heroes. I guess it's a 3-day event with different kinds of training and simulators, and then some kind of competition for $100,000, and then more competitions for $10,000, and then another $100,000 competition. Wow, there's a lot of competitions. 3 days, friendship, entertainment, and competition, honoring the service of law enforcement, first responders, and oh yeah, the military. Fallen Blue. I don't know what this is, but Julie Galoob's working for him or working with them. I don't know how it works for her, but I've only recently started following her channel, so I guess this was interesting because I like following events that are out there. I don't know what to call this. Is this a fundraising event? Is this a veterans event? Is this a competition shoot? Question mark. How would you rank it? You know, what would you, if you were putting it into a calendar, what would you put it under? Would you put it under all three? So speaking of competition shooting parasport is an international deal where differently abled folks get together and shoot different types of firearms. And in this picture, you get an idea of the different kind of competitions and the different kind of ranges. So I can imagine going around the world to shoot at some of these different ranges has to be such an interesting experience in itself. And then of course you got the competition side where you're competing with a bunch of different people. And when it's a bunch of people that are differently abled in different ways, you got all kinds of rules and stuff. So I imagine it's a different kind of competition in lots of ways, but I'm a big fan. I like to post pictures of it when I can. In this one, it says this is the Novi Sad WSPS Grand Prix. 60 athletes from 20 countries compete during the Grand Prix that took place in Serbia last week. So you hear about all this bullshit about the wars and blah, blah, blah. And then here's a bunch of people coming in and having a competition of firearms. This probably is air guns because it's inside. This is probably 22s though, because it's outside. And then you got handguns and rifles and probably rapid shots and marksman type stuff. Lots and lots of places you could work with, promote, champion, support, right? Be aware of. Lots of opportunities out there. So here's the Medal of Honor Museum being built right now. They post often on the anniversaries of the Medal of Honor recipients. So in 1993, Battle of Mogadishu, of course, we had that anniversary happen. Lots of people posting about that. I choose to post from a couple of different posts about it. So here's the from the Medal of Honor Museum. Guns for Everyone posting one of these little tips. Those who train to a standard will rarely reach their fullest potential, but they'll meet the standard. And that's when people say about how police don't shoot that good. You could say that police don't shoot that good. We shoot better than police. And that sounds like you're bragging or like you don't understand what the police do. But if you can word that to someone who doesn't understand they have an unrealistic opinion of what the police are able to do or capable of, if you state it in the way that those who train to a standard rarely reach their fullest potential, they reach the standard. I think people realize when you're talking about bureaucracy, rarely is there ever any incentive to go beyond the bare minimum. And when you're depending on the results of the bureaucracy or whatever to, do something crucial, then do you really want the lowest common denominators? So I don't know. I thought that was a great angle. Not often seen. Speaking of great angles, here's another picture of the Bannerman Castle, one of the coolest places ever. And whoever this person is, constantly takes pictures of it. So they're a jerk because they get to hang out by the castle all the time. I'm guessing in a kayak because of the way the pictures are all the time. So if you live in New York and you live near the island, why don't you have a kayak? Because you can basically go out to the island anytime you want on a kayak and look. Well, you can't get on the island. You're not allowed to, but you can go paddle around the island. So someday I'm going to go do this again before I can't do it no more, before I'm too old and feeble to be able to paddle around. Because, yes, come on, man. So Rebecca Schmoy is posting the scariest part of October this year. Beware the midterm moderates. So you know what? Every once in a while, we got to think about politics. Guess how cool it is? How what's the word? How nice it is to be able to just ignore politics. But in reality, everybody that ignores politics is leaving money on the table, and they're expecting everybody else to do double the work. It's kind of lazy and bullshitist to just be like, oh, I don't like politics. Politics. You could be like that 99% of the time, but when it becomes important to be politics, it's sort of like all hands on deck, or else what the hell, man? So this one's kind of neat. Winchester dinner surprise. And I don't know who's the illustrator of this, but it's some guy. I guess he's hunting with a knife and a hatchet and a fishing pole and a flashlight and some boxes of ammo just setting out. And then he goes, I'm going to make 2 pieces of sausage or some gross ass looking bacon near the fire, but not on the fire. And then I'm always going to be holding my gun because I didn't know where a mountain lion might. I mean, even a mountain lion with rabies wouldn't do this. I don't know what people think is going on in the woods. This doesn't happen in the woods, but in this picture it did. But even back in the day, all you did is have a lean-to to push the heat back on you as it came off the fire. I'm good. 2 labs. Oh, we're talking about that picture. So 22 Kill. Patriot was talking about this one. My new gear from 22 Kill. 1, Tribe Foundation and Carry the Load to create a community that raises awareness and combats suicide by empowering veterans, first responders, medical, frontline workers, and their families through traditional and non-traditional therapies, serving those who run towards the fight. And it's got a shit ton of hashtags, and then it says get involved. So I don't know what it is all about, and I said, first I'm hearing of this, tell me more, and then Patriot didn't tell me nothing. So I don't know what's going on with it. Oh man, he's getting wailed on with spams. So what's your opinion? I kill all the spams. I don't like them. I don't think they increase the feed. Some people leave them on, I think, because they like to see the numbers on there. I don't know. It's up to you. So 22 Kill. I don't know what it is. I need to know more about it. So if anybody knows about it, do a show or something. Talk about it. I mean, I kind of understand, but I don't know the details. Next, we got Page Gunsmith in School, and this was another great group of students leave us to start their journey. Always bittersweet. Congratulations. So you got 3 students graduating. All right. Yeah, I think that's 3 students and a bunch of instructors, right? So there you go. And I'm guess a couple of people saying right on. So you've got at least 1 Precision Products, maybe 1 manufacturer watching the gunsmithing schools to see what kind of alumni are coming out. Or what would you call it? Graduates, I guess, are coming out. Let's see. So right after the, what do you call that thing? The Gun Rights Policy Conference, boom, here's Gun Owners Action League goal the state level organization for Massachusetts. Here they are at a sportsman's building at Topsfield Fair. So some kind of fair was going on, and these were the people I think that were, I don't know if it's the same people, but definitely the group was at Gun Rights Policy, and then next weekend they're at this other fair. Being out there, getting part of the deal, getting the word out. You know, these organizations that they use that $30 to pay the admission fees or get people gas to get there, you know, whatever it is they're doing to get the human beings where the humans are, to have the conversations, to change the opinions and then change the policies. Speaking of bad policies, we got Pennsylvania being mentioned again by Gun Policy or Firearms Policy Coalition. It says Pennsylvania, stop Harrisburg's anti-rights agenda. So remember how we talked about earlier? This one is bills, again, banning the sale and possession of magazines, requiring a permit to open carry a firearm, and then it would require a permit to purchase and possess a firearm, and it would ban the purchase of firearms to people 18 to 20. So not just you can't buy it from a gun shop, but you can't even purchase. So that's messed up. And you know, I think being aware of it is one thing for sure, and then so to then bring it up in a conversation every time and do something about Pennsylvania, right? This is one of the coolest things you're going to see all week. Somebody popped a drone up at Dragon Man's, and Dragon Man's has another 40 acres, and he took a chunk of that 40 acres and he made it into a dirt bike track, or I mean a four-wheeler track. There's a dirt bike track there too. But this is somebody's drone footage of somebody hauling ass in some kind of sandrail looking thing on his dirt track, and it looks so cool. It looks like some kind of slot car because the dude does a good run, and the drone's looking all around good. Just super cool. So if you want to check it out, or if you want to go to Dragon Man's, check it out. Dragon Man's closes for the winter, so, or at least the museum closes for the winter. Toby's over on Cape Gunworks doing the radio show, so I must have been posting this so we can have a chance to mention it. I don't think there was anything else that was mentioned on that one. Here's Tulsi Gabbard, the Democratic contender for president that everybody loves to hate. And she says, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, dusting off the cobwebs and gaining new skills. Thanks to the tactical games for an incredible day of training. So Tulsi Gabbard went to the tactical games, I guess. So then Jara from Texas is saying, I generally support you and think you should be sitting in the vice president seat right now. But you don't get to go play gun games for popularity when in reality you support gun control. 2A is precious and we need you to defend it, not use it as a tactic to get likes. So real response to bullshit political pandering. I put thank you in here, right? And it only got 2 likes, but it got some weird ass replies. So if you reply to a girl saying anything, get ready for weird replies. Then you got Red October coming up. I thought this was a pretty interesting picture for definitely a difference between how Red October does their deal and how Kalash Bash does their deal. You know what I'm saying? So it says, we're happy to announce the opening of Red October After Dark to newcomers of Red October. Thanks to KCI, we're able to open up more spots for After Dark. This will be our first official After Dark with 4 stages converted to low light stages. You can use anything from night vision, IR, white light, LED, mag lights with a hose clamp, or just plain eat a bunch of carrots before the match. There will be 2 weapon divisions, modern and classic, with details of each class in the link below and how to register. For those who just want to hang out, After Dark has things for the general admission crowd. We will have guns and equipment set up for people to check out, and we'll have its own firing line adjacent to the competition. This is an excellent way for you to try out night shooting and dip your toes into the world of night vision. On the line as well, there will be Jack Daniels. staff instructor from Thunder Ranch. Great name for a person. He will be going over some white light tactics and much more to give people a taste of what Thunder Ranch has to offer in their night courses. We'll see you after dark. So I'm a big fan of these two freaking competitions who I only been to Red October the one time, but I wish I could be going to all of them. There's gun shows, which are amazing. In fact, Daily Gun Show is what we name our podcast every weeknight. Gun shows are freaking amazing. Gun shows are a chunk of the pulse of the gun community, right? So as they got neglected and taken for granted and ignored, they fell apart and became what they are, which is still freaking awesome, actually. They're just different than what they used to be, but they're definitely they're different. They used to be grapes, now they're raisins. They used to be grapes and now they're wine. I don't know. They used to be something else and now they're a different version of it. It's still good. But what's happening now is they're taking it in another direction. And I cannot wait to see these happen in other directions even still. We just heard a bunch of stuff from Gizzard about TriggerCon, which was pretty neat too this weekend. Anyhow, this is taking a gun show and putting it on a shooting range. So now people can pull triggers. Now people can look at stuff and fiddle with it and go shoot it all at the same time, right? This is competition happening during all of that. This is a swap meet. So literally a gun show happening during all this. This is having booths set up and having interaction with the manufacturers and with trainers and with other people in the industry and the community. And this is literally the evolution of gun shows. At the end of it all, when it's all over, they shut all the gun part down and they bring out the drinks and they have a party. It's a fun time. So now there's camaraderie and there's the collaboration that happens when you have an after party. Well, now I'm guessing somewhere in between or instead of the party or somehow the party will be held back. So now once it gets dark, they're going to have some competition at night, which is cool. I mean, there's competitions at night already, but this is neat to add it to this situation. But I don't know if you heard that part of it when I said you can use anything from light vision to IR to white light to mag lights with a hose clamp or just eat a bunch of carrots before the match. That means that instead of just being an IR match, which is when snooty kids that got $10,000 to buy toys, they get together, they don't want to do nothing but play with their toys. They just paid tens of thousands of dollars for their toys. They do not want to hang out with people that don't have toys. So they tend to make their stupid games lame because they want to play with their toys, which is fine if you got the toys. But if you don't, it's boring as hell watching people do things in the dark. So if you do it with if you do it with white light, that's a whole nother thing. Now you've got light discipline, you've got tactics, you've got like actual useful data you're collecting. It's super interesting watching people shoot their strategy of a match in the dark with white light, because you can see the white light when they're using it, how they're using it, their tactics, their techniques, right? Their success, their failures. That's cool. Like that's ultimately neat. The fact that they're letting you shoot it without any light, that's what I'm talking about. Like that is awesome. In other words, you can go just see how your how your vision is at night, not bullshit night vision that kids are paying for $10,000 for. I'm talking just the ability to see at night. A lot of us have that ability because we know how to go outside and use the moon and stars to see with. And being able to shoot a match like that is a whole different thing. Because like I say, most of the time they want you to use their stupid night vision or they want you to use their stupid lights. So having that option is mine. I don't know. I don't know of any other match that lets you. Maybe there's a couple. Actually, think of a couple that probably do. Here in Tucson, they used to do some cool matches. They probably would let you. If they did night matches, they don't. So this is super cool. This is not just adding night stuff to a cool event. This is adding some super cool night stuff. Some really cool. This is letting people who want to just go cosplay have a fun place to cosplay. Let people who want to play with their toys, with other people with their toys, have a place to do that with the cosplayers. Let both of those people hang out with just night shooters who want to just shoot at night, tactics and learn their gear. Bringing those people all together with the spectators and the other people who are just tolerant to all this stuff, and maybe the people that never experienced it and have no idea what I'm talking about. It's super cool. That part of it is super neat. And then they're bringing in the idea that you can go shoot night vision and get the, have a place to get a familiarization, an orientation to shooting at night, that's pretty cool. How often does someone offer you a chance to shoot, probably suppressed, probably, well, it just said with night vision. So put this $10,000 unit on your head and see why people like it so much. See the advantages and the disadvantages of it, right? Not just hear about it or see somebody with green splash on their face, but see what it's like and see what it's like to have your eyeballs look through that for a little while. It's good and it's bad. It's not perfect. So anyway, being able to play with that, being able to familiarize yourself with it and get some, have some trigger time with it, super cool opportunity. And then to have somebody who knows what they're talking about show some actual white light techniques in the concept of white light awareness is, again, super, super cool. So Red October is just super, super, super cool. I wish they were sponsoring me so I could get paid to say how super cool they are. But until then, I'll just keep saying how super cool that event is. Juxtaposing that, juxtaposition with that is, watch this freaking video from Ed. Can I get it to, I wonder how I can get it to just play without glitching. I don't think there's any reason to listen to the music. It's just this little girl walking past two ladies. So I don't know how to try to get it to queue up again. A little tiny clip can say so much, Appreciate who you've got, appreciate what you've got, and appreciate who you've got and what you've got. Not everybody's got it, and it's not guaranteed to nobody. All right, next up is, and by the way, that for people that weren't paying attention, that was just a video of somebody, I don't know, watching their little girl probably walk down the street in Mexico maybe, or somewhere, and then a lady, probably homeless lady, sleeping, and then a couple of that walk past a soda machine or whatever, and then you got a lady probably working out on the street, and you got the little girl who walks right past both of that. Big world, lots of opportunities, lots of potential. Anyway, let's keep moving on. So next is New York's assault weapons registry is flawed, but experts say state gun laws reduce violence. More than 40% of owners of assault weapons who register their firearms with New York State Police under new law fail to recertify the guns 5 years later. So I don't know. New York. So this is Buffalo News, and I don't know. So I put some of these up here to see what you think of the messaging and whatever, and if it's getting through and if it's working. I think they tried to put a little bit of everything out, right? This is crazy. I don't know how many people seen this one happen, but Keltec put this out, and then everybody stole it. And I mean everybody stole it. So it says, are you saving enough money for retirement? And then as the sword comes out, it says yes. And then by the time you pull the sword out all the way, it actually says, yes, Sturday, I bought a new gun. So Keltec put this out, and I mean, everybody I know who steals stuff stole it, period. That's what happens. So it's one of the ways you can tell who's real and who's just literally stealing shit constantly. And by just paying attention, watching. Oh man, this came out 2 days later, boom, everybody on the internet stole it. Crazy. Some people don't even care. Some people don't realize that they're stealing. Some people just think that the internet owes them these pictures and that they just grab them and throw them. Let's see. So I thought this was funny because of Halloween. You got a lot of these. I don't think too often you see a bunch of loose ear things. Do you really see? You see them in packages of two quite often. I don't see loose ones hardly ever. But basically, we got a bunch of foamies, ear foamies in a goldfish bowl, and they got a thing on there that says, not candy, do not eat. You almost always would need that because they do look like a bunch of candies if you put them in a bowl like that. And that's probably one of the reasons they put the things in a bag with two right off the bat, because most candy isn't packaged that way, and you're going to have to pick it up to open the package, and you're going to figure out real quick that it's not marshmallow and it ain't a candy. It's squishy. Anyhow, I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty funny. Million Moms Against Gun Control. So this is interesting too. Mom at Arms is out in Virginia, I think, and she's constantly messing with Shan Shan. I just thought this was interesting thing, and I'm going to read it for everybody. She says, I'm a boy mom, and my son is 5. He's all about robots, space, and Spider-Man. For the past few years, I've made his Halloween costume. At 2, he was Mickey from Fantasia. That movie is how he would go to sleep. He was 3, he was a farmer because of my uncle who's a farmer, and my son loves him dearly. Last year, he was Charlie Brown, and this year, he wants to be his favorite superhero, Spider-Man. The kid is obsessed. As much as my mom heart broke because I really wanted him to be a Taco Bell hot sauce packet because I was going to be the taco, the excitement on his face when I caved to get the Spider-Man costume was worth everything. I teared up as he roared through the house yelling, I'm going to have muscles and save the world. With all that's going on in the world today, so much hate, so much division over the littlest things, you have no idea how much I wish and pray for some wave of childlike innocence and excitement to rush over us all. I'm sharing this not just because I'm a proud mama, but also sharing because I hope it touches some of y'all's hearts. I also share it to hold myself accountable. Okay, so then she gets into more girl stuff and mom stuff, but I just thought that was interesting. Every once in a while, when you follow the girl channels, they do that stuff. So sharing it with everybody. Little kids don't, have the same situation as the rest of us, so they get to enjoy everything most of the time. So here's another person, Tony, getting all mad at Tulsi. Here's the deal: if Tulsi wants to go away for a weekend and go shooting, I'll take her. I'll be the one to take part of that. I will help get her interested in firearms more. I'm willing to help with that. Let's see. Second Amendment Foundation Gun Rights Policy Conference. This is Stephen Holbrook. He posts, I have a comprehensive new book coming out very soon, America's Rifle, The Case for the AR-15. I discussed some of the topics in my book last week at the Second Amendment Foundation's Gun Rights Policy Conference. The video is up on the Second Amendment Foundation's YouTube channel entitled, blah, blah, blah. My segment is America's Rifle, and it begins at 1:15, ends at 1:32. Here's the difference between somebody who's farting around and somebody who literally started the whole thing and has been doing stuff as a professional. Like, that's what a professional does when they do something, is they post about what they've done, and here's where you can find it. And even though the Second Amendment Foundation had not already separated all the videos out and posted them, that, Stephen is posting to the one that does exist. So, it's just the follow-up. It's just the professionalism. They didn't have Stephen there at the AmCon to teach us how to be researchers and professional, journalists. Tulsi is fine with me. She is out of office now. Marines would eat them. Oh, the things? Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Maryland didn't start going until Too Big Strike. Oh, you're talking about gun shows. Okay, good. Ken Blanchard posted a couple of times now, pray for your pastor challenge. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know how often that comes up in religious circles or whatever, but I had not heard of the idea of praying for your pastor. I thought that was interesting, passing that along. This is Women in Arms. This is one of the ladies I found this year after the DC project went to DC. As I was looking for different posts about it, I found a couple of new posts this year. This is one of them. I can't remember what state Women in Arms is from. I think she's the lady on the right. And it says, though, a new logo for our TV show, Sisters in Arms, a show about firearm safety rules, advocacy tips for the gun owner who wants to have a voice but doesn't know how. 2A guest speakers and incredible testimonials. So I'm digging that. So basically something like a riding shotgun with Charlie mixed with 2A Women Wednesday, except 2 ladies hosting it. Interested for sure. And it looks like they know what they're doing. This is like a decent looking, produced little dealie here. So this next one is again from Mark Friend at In Range. And Mike friend at In Range, and he had posted this that I hadn't seen anyone else post about. Usually people get all scared whenever stuff happens, but this is a new change that I hadn't heard anybody else get scared about. Maybe I just missed it. I've been kind of busy. With everything in my industry, it just got more difficult. My customers can no longer ship a firearm they legally own to me directly for repair and then me directly back to them with UPS. UPS is requiring records and paperwork to be kept. This would greatly add to the expense and also time to the whole situation. Looks like you'll be using the other, the regular post office from now on. Since this is the case, I can no longer get daily pickup, only ship once a week or every 2 weeks, since now I have to drive to the post office. Yeah, and Mike's nowhere near a post office, I can tell you. He's out in the middle of nowhere. And that's not every situation, but at the same time, it's an aspect of the changes and the compliance with the new bullshit rules that not just need to be complained about and bitched about, but need to start being archived. So when we want to have more articulate conversations to people about why the consequences of these bullshit laws are we can't deal with them. They're not livable situations. Why? Well, because you're changing the situation where people can't repair their guns anymore, and that alters the industry. Right? We got to be able to have these conversations. So I understand people getting complaining like, "Oh, I hate UPS now" or whatever, but let's do something about it. Like, let's be able to have a more effective conversation with the people that are going to be able to do something about this, which at this point is going to be voters, I guess. Armed Wing of America has something going with Ergo, and they got a bunch of purple rubber add-ons, accessories for their firearms. Ergo's over in New Mexico, and I've worked with people who worked with them. I'm adjacent to Ergo occasionally, so I'm a fan. I like their rubber. Their shape is not my thing, but I don't care. Like, everybody has different, interfaces with their guns. I really like their rubber, though. The rubberiness versus firminess, or whatever the characteristics of rubber are. And I like the fact that they can color it, and they're willing to color it. And in this case, purple for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. There you go. So, plus some people probably just like purple accessories. So if they're able to do something for a special run for awareness like that, it's win-win. Next up is American Suppressor Association, probably doing more work than a lot of people even realize. So, they had the Hearing Protection Act that didn't come out of nobody's butt. That came out of a deliberate, planned strategy from the American Suppressor Association. I don't know if it's the military side of the people who came into this organization, or if that just was an element of what it was, but with precision, they went in and accomplished so much. Unfortunately, they didn't incorporate marketing and hype as part of it, at least a lot of it, as part of their thing. And we had other entities at the same time, some coffee companies, for example, that did include marketing in their strategies right from the get-go. And they surpassed American Suppressor Association tenfold, which is frustrating, because imagine if the American Suppressor Association would have had the effectiveness of the reach that the coffee companies that I'm talking about got at that time. Crazy difference. Looks like Come and Talk It Radio is getting ready to go live, and Eye on the Target Radio is getting ready to go live. Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is tomorrow. Special Ops Contractor Training Afghan Partners. Oh, it's going to be good. The girl interviews are almost always the best interviews. Did I mention that tonight there's a special edition of the Overnight? What? Yep, special edition of the Overnight. I don't think they've got it scheduled yet, but that's about to happen. So I'm flipping over as we're talking live here, and I'm about to see when these radio shows are going to start. 5 minutes and 5 minutes. Usually I forget and I talk right into them. Today I'm going to remember and mention the 2 radio shows that happen. 2 of the 3 radio shows that happen on Sunday. As soon as my computer catches up with me. One of them is called Come and Talk It, which is a gun shop in Austin, Texas. Michael Cargill is the owner of that shop, and he's the host of this radio show. He's also has a lawsuit against the government about the bump stocks, and they were talking about that on the Polite Society podcast yesterday. So I'm going to say second thumb up. So I say thank you for streaming the show broadcast each week. And then post that over there. There's Yoder, the person that got me aware of that show years and years ago. Then we can go to Eye on the Target Radio, do the same thing, except call it First Thumb Up. All right, come on, man. What's up with that? What was it? What did it do that for? All right, and now we'll drop a link in here for people that might want to go leave this show and go watch a real good show. Man, I wouldn't say that. Go watch live shows. How about that? The show's gooder, but they are also good. How about that? But both of them are different in their own way. Everybody's special in their own way, in their own 2A way. But these are good Second Amendment focused shows. Michael Cargill, like I say, gun shop owner, boom. In Texas, boom. In Austin, Texas, boom, right? And lawsuit against the government, one of many things he's done like that. He had a show earlier this year where he brought together a bunch of people from both sides of the fence to talk about constitutional carry in Texas. Very awesome. Then you got Amanda Suffolcool and her brother who do Eye on the Target Radio. They are the first female hosted nationally syndicated radio show in the country that's focused on firearms. So both of those will start here in the next few minutes. I can't mute them until they go live, so that will rudely interrupt us here in a moment. You also have Locked and Loaded Latinos goes live often on Sundays, and then another radio show out of California called Gun Owners Radio will be going live here in a bit, in 2 hours. All right, so Americans Presser Association, awesome. Here they are giving their update for September of 2022. Another reason they're awesome. Cape Gunworks, remember I said they deliver ammo? Well, guess what? They'll deliver anything. That's their food truck back there in the background. That's their sign out front, and it says, "We deliver crossbows." I thought that was pretty cool. Demoliere is an awesome channel, and I can't wait for her to post, or them to post the next in their series. They have an awesome series over on the YouTube. If you want to find out about the actual history of drugs and drug war, you might want to check this out. So this is a story about this mom, a mother who searched for her missing daughter, was murdered in the Villa Frontera neighborhood of Puebla on Tuesday. Her daughter disappeared in 2021. She's the fourth mother to be killed this year while searching for their loved ones. Fourth mother to be killed this year while searching for their children. According to local reports, the lady was waiting for a bus on this highway outside of the Villa Frontera neighborhood when two gunmen fired several times at her. They fled on a motorcycle. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Her daughter disappeared in 2021 after she and a friend left to deposit money in a bank. They never returned. Her phone was pinged from a house in a neighborhood where a couple lived. The male was killed while the female who was shot was arrested. She remains the main suspect in the daughter's disappearance. Something like 96% of murders in Mexico are not even investigated, let alone found out. So they don't even get investigated. So this is the story of a mom who leaves behind a 12-year-old son after being killed because she probably found out too much about why her daughter went missing a year ago. People don't want to talk about what happens on the other side of our international border. And that's what happens when you're not able to defend yourself, your neighborhood, and your family. Hey, Single Shot's a member of the channel. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Single Shot, awesome dude. Hangs out with Gizzard on Sunday mornings. Gizzard, who puts a tremendous effort in keeping the community together and giving people a place that they can depend on, meeting up with friends on a Sunday when it's fun and when it's okay to do, or when it's they got time for it. But those times when it's important, those times when you really need to know what's up and you want to get it right from somebody who because you dealt with them a bunch, is going to get good data, that's what Gizzard provides. And Single Shot helps Gizzard do that. So thank you very much. That's much appreciated, man. And you do that by being part of the show too. So big kudos for that. All right, next is GOA talking about their victory in New York. I always rag on GOA for being the big compromiser, but at the same time, they do stuff, they win, and let's give them that kudos and that victory lap. Cape Gun Works, we deliver crossbows. I guess I already posted that, but now I'm posting it again. There's Foss getting a bunch of stuff. So we did a thing with Gizzard Show where somebody bought something from R&L Displays, then they got a $25 gift certificate. So G23 took us up on that, got the gift certificate, and then sent that stuff to Foss, who was probably going to use it for giveaways, I'm guessing. So I sent him a bunch of random stuff that I didn't know if he was going to want or not, but sent that over to him. We got the Quest for the Perfect Load, one of the channels I found from Echo and AR Guns and Chris. I don't remember where, but somebody who reloads. Quest for the Perfect Load is a reloader and a 3D printer. Got the hiccups now. He posted that if you're not subbed to his channel, to check it out. He's just 50 subs away from 1,000. So pretty cool. And it's always cool to see somebody get their 1,000-ing. 1,000 gets you your community tab, which lets you start posting things like polls and questions and just posts. It lets you have a different way, like a blog format. This is a post about the December 5th auction up at Pot of Gold Auctions. Let people know about that. Here's San Diego gun owners talking about
Gun Owners Radio. Just wanted to let you know that a judge in New York blocked a law that was proposed. I don't know if you remember, but just a couple of months ago, California had SB 918 that was going to restrict CCW holders from carrying just about everywhere. Well, that was a cut and paste copy of a law from New York, and a judge said, "You know what? We're not gonna enact that. They're going to have their day in court." It's very, very good news. So I think that by the time California tries to reintroduce this, it'll be settled as unconstitutional, which is the right thing to do. So
I think Mike does a pretty good job of summarizing stuff without a bunch of, hey, blah, blah, blah first, right? So there's a second version of it for some reason. Here's NRA stealing Kel-Tec's thing. And then here's their thing, nothing. Here's their description, nothing. Here's a post. Oh, we stole it from Kel-Tec. So whatever. NRA rips off memes too. Everybody steals memes. Not everybody, but a lot of people choose to steal memes. This is Guns for Everyone posting a thing about their Gazette, their newspaper that they make. Let's see. Then we got Cape Gun Works is going to have Beth Alcazar up there on Saturday, the November 4th, for a female defensive self-defense type of class. I think it's more than just firearms. And this is the book that Beth wrote, and they're getting people aware of it so that they can sign up for the course. Should be cool. Beth Alcazar, we're a fan of Beth Alcazar.
Come check this.
I don't think I can play this because of the audio, but here's Cheryl. She won the, what do you call it? This was just from her doing a DC project. This was sort of a montage slideshow TikTok thing that girls do when they got a bunch of pictures to show off, I guess. That was a pretty decent collection of pictures from their effort, right? Going to DC and meeting with all the representatives. But anybody can go do that. It takes a little bit of beyond anybody doing it to get staging a bunch of pictures like this. So after 7 years of accomplishing, you're able to do it with style, and you're able to do it with intent. And that's what you're seeing, the development of the DC project, able to play a little bit, but not just play as much as create things that are going to be useful for stuff like this. So I find that to be super inspirational. Not only are these ladies getting stuff done, but they're documenting it. And again, there's little girls out there who are like, I can be like this when I grow up. There was nothing like that that I'm aware of back in the day. Stephen Holbrook, same guy, researcher, author. Are these shows not started yet? I guess they did. Stephen Holbrook, author, researcher. And then he's the only person I've ever heard of, except me, talking about Dingle. So back in the olden days, 68, the Democrats were going to like go, hey, you know what we should do? Nazi gun control. Let's rewrite Nazi gun control and call it the 1968 Gun Control Act. It took them like 3 things to do it, but they did it. Democrat Representative John Dingell goes, hey, NRA, hey, Republicans, look what the Democrats are about to do. You better get your ass together. So here's Stephen Holbrook talking about that. And here's a picture of Dingell. I guess he's still alive. How did I originally become interested in researching firearms registration in Nazi Germany? For one thing, I read this statement that Representative John Dingell, a Democrat from Michigan, made during the debate over bills to include a national firearms registration system in the Gun Control Act of 1968. John Dingell, a Democrat from Michigan, wrote, Sportsmen fear firearms registration. We have here the same situation we saw in small degree in Nazi Germany. There, they did not prohibit citizens from having guns. All they said was, first, we want you to register them, and then we're going to stop crime by it. Federal firearms legislation, hearings before the subcommittee, that's literally in the testimony. Dingell is the guy that brought up, you guys are Nazis for bringing this shit up. And he's a Democrat telling other Democrats they're Nazis for bringing this shit up. And here's Stephen Holbrook mentioning that in 2022. So there's people that know what's going on. There's people that did it. And then there's people that fart around getting worried about every barking dog that's going down the street. Next, we got Gun for Hire is going to be another, I guess the diversity shoot that we were talking about earlier. The one on the 13th is at Gun for Hire. When he said Woodland Park, it didn't register with me. So Gun for Hire is a really cool range in New Jersey, just outside of New York City. That's where Tony started the diversity shoots, and looks like the October 13th will be back at that location. So here's Gun Owners of America saying, as we promised right after the Bruin decision, which should be called the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association decision, Gun Owners of America will defend your Second Amendment. So states rush to revamp laws after Supreme Court's gun ruling. So it's talking about the New York Times.
We were outside the hotel having a party, and yesterday it was so cold and windy that everybody's wearing all.
So I guess the one radio show started. I don't know how many more we got left, so we're cramming into them a little bit. You can make your decisions if you want to go listen to that show or this show or both shows. So next, Attorneys for Freedom here in Arizona do all kinds of cool stuff, including being aware of gun laws and giving people advice and stuff and being there as lawyers for people with guns. So they set up at gun shows, and this is going to be one that they're setting up and offering a year's worth of attorney's retainer, which is pretty neat, at a Queen Creek gun show, which is not even a big gun show. So that's pretty cool. I like gun shows. I like these particular lawyers, and I dig that they're incentivizing people to go to this kind of a small show, with something extra. And I thought that's super cool. Giving them a plug for that. Now here's a gun shop I don't talk about too much, but I would put it in my top list of gun shops for sure, because it is an awesome gun shop. It's Gallison's Guns in Salt Lake City. They're kind of like hair bun dudes, though. That's the thing. So they're cool, and obviously this gun shop's been around a while, and whoever started the gun shop, I'm sure didn't have a hair bun, but these guys have hair buns, but in the coolest way. So, it's not like it's always a negative. It doesn't have to be a negative, and these peoples, I don't know if they're all dudes, are indicators that, some people can be 100,000% gun people and still just, be also different. So anyway, pretty good. Are they saying anything good over there? Am I missing anything good? I usually forget about that. I'm quirking them until way over. Gizzard gave away a bunch of cool stuff, including that watch, which is the watch off of his wrist. A bunch of patches and whatnot, a Wii tactical patch and his own patch. Just crazy, crazy stuff, because it was his 5th year channel anniversary. His channel is 5 years old. Speaking of puppies, this is a puppy that came wandering into the garage of Guy 45, Cal, and he said she came wandering into the garage and he gave her some water and whatnot, but then the next day when they took her to the vet, she had a chip in her, so they were able to get her back to her people. So it's kind of bittersweet, right? You like the idea that you get a little puppy walk around, but then you like the idea that you're helping her get back to her people, but then you don't got a little puppy afterwards, which kind of sucks. Autoloader, Moon Food, up in the Pennsylvanias, posting awesome pictures all the time. This one looks like it should be a cartoon. Just saying, I've been drawing a lot of gun cartoons, so got a lot of gun cartooning in my head right now. Or I got a gun cartoon filter in my head right now. So what is the short act? Here's a little PowerPoint that Gun Owners America did, a little PowerPoint. What does the short act do? Oh, wait, no, I'll shut up. Look at, I'm always bitching that they don't put their logo. Look what they did. They put their logo behind it. Like now you know who's doing it. Kudos. Gun Owners America, listening to my mansplaining and actually did what I said they should do. Put their logo really big. What does the short act do? Senator Marshall's bill will remove the unconstitutional taxation, registration, and regulation in the draconian National Firearms Act, the NFA, such firearms as the things we already talked about. Then why do we need the short act? The short act is needed to push back against the Biden administration attacks on millions of gun owners with their attempt to ban on certain pistols. Okay. Using the NFA, the Biden administration is pretending people who own pistols with blah, 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 in fact, possess illegal short barrel rifles. A little wordy, but I got it. The ATF is using this exclusive forcing, oh my God, it's too wordy, but yeah, okay. And then how do we stop the Biden administration? Probably should put that arrow down here where you know the Instagram arrow is, because I bet you people are clicking on this and getting frustrated. But I can't help but mansplain. I know how to do it better. How do we stop the Biden administration? The best way to protect gun owners from the Biden administration and ensure the ATF does not enact this rule or any future version of it is by deregulating NFA firearms through the elimination of unconstitutional and unnecessary restrictions, taxations, and registration placed on NFA firearms in 1934. It's way too long, but that's the best thing I've heard all year. How do we stop this asshole from doing these dorky maneuvers? Remove the bullshit he's fiddling with, the NFA. Get rid of it. And now he can't do his bullshit fiddly maneuvers. I like the concept. Will it work? I don't know. There's people going to tell me right now that you can't remove the NFA, right? Well, we can't remove it. It's been there since 1934. It's essentially law. Short-barreled shotgun deregulation, and then too many words about that. Any other weapon, maybe too many words. Record destruction. This is only one paragraph. Nice. Those who promote federal taxation, registration, fingerprinting, and regulation on the mere ownership of firearm. Oh my God, I can't even read this, and I want to read it. Please like and share. Most importantly, call your senators. Awesome. I like the idea of calling your senators. Let's put that call to action right at the front. Right? Call your senators, and here's why. And then they're digging it. I'm liking it. At least they're getting better. Some organizations, make as much money as them and don't get better. Some organizations make way even more money than them, right? Push them around like they're punks, and they don't do nothing. They don't do shit. I don't even hear about them. So, awesome. Another one from one of the ladies of the DC Project. Simple Life. What does this say? Does that say Simple Life Rules? I can't read cursive. I can't read sloppy cursive. Let's put it that way. If you do not go after what you want, you will never have it. If you do not ask, the answer will always be no. And if you do not step forward, you will always be in the same place. I gotta give that one a snap also. So, the girls are always encouraging each other, and I think that's our last one. So that's one of the reasons I like following the girls. See what they're doing, kind of monitor the girl side of the guns, but also they're actually nice to each other instead of being mean to each other all the time. They're probably nice to each other on their posts, and then they're mean to each other in the private chats. We're just mean to each other right out in front of everybody because we don't care. So anyway, that was Instagram. Probably too much Instagram, pretty much 2 hours of Instagram. I only barely smashed into the radio shows, which is really their fault. But I planned to go earlier today. So if everything would have happened like expected, I would have gone live an hour earlier today. So again, thanks to the people who showed up live for dealing with the crazy start time today and with the length of the show. The goal is to have some sort of conversation here. I do long-term stuff or long format stuff because, as you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, there's a scroll saying our Patreons make it possible for us to spend time on projects like this one. And then we have an address to our Patreon link. So patreon.com/gun websites. So those people that subscribe to what we do are often people that are listening to the recording of this, like while they're running or doing some kind of hike or something, maybe driving somewhere or doing some kind of shift work or something. So people that support what we're doing don't mind the long format stuff. And the goal here is that you don't even have to go watch Instagram. You can just listen to this once a week and get a synopsis, a summary of what 2A stuff, at least, had happened over on Instagram, both the good and the failed attempts by good people. I almost never talk about people who suck. In fact, I never talk about people who suck. They can go blow off. But the people who are awesome aren't always awesome, and I give them constructive criticism or mansplain. That's an extra bonus. But it's really just to get the stuff from Instagram mentioned, because guess what? As I say all this stuff on YouTube, it turns into text technically, and it gets read by robots. And then, the stuff that it can understand, that I don't mumble, gets turned into usable cross links or usable instances on the internet of these things, or these entities, these projects that we've been talking about. It's not perfect, it's not scripted, but it is real, and it is almost every week when there's not something happening. And I think it's ending because we've got at least 2 radio shows to send you off to. I'm going to suggest you check out the Gun or the Eye on the Target radio if you like more rambling talk. If you like a more pre-planned, like they have an actual script that they're gonna, not script, but an actual list of topics for the show, then you might like Come and Talk It. They usually come with a list of topics, and they hit all those topics, and they've got a couple of different people. They'll bring in guests. Eye on the Target is start with a couple of topics and just kind of chat. They definitely interact with their live chat more often, and you might enjoy both of those. If you don't, then check out, or even if you do, check out Gun Owners Radio later on this afternoon. And what am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Foss has a show this evening, so stay tuned to that, a special overnight show. Yeah, everybody's on commercial right now. So again, thanks everybody for showing up, for watching and listening. If you're in the future listening to this in the past, then leave us some feedback. That's how we know that you're out there in the future. I guess I don't know. I've never paid attention. Oh wait, no, I do know how many views my stuff has. I don't remember how many views we have, but we have something like 3 billion hours worth of listened to time out there. So the only way we know which of the 3 billion hours worth of listeners you are is when you say something out there. So feel free to leave us a comment on any of the platforms that you might find this on. And just like the radio shows out there, we're going to end with a commercial. We're going to say thanks to the people that do purchase stuff at our Gear website store. We've got books over there that we write. We've got posters and patches and stickers and decals, but we also have some 3D printed stuff and more. Check it out. Thanks for watching.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Tonight's episode, photo finish.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice once a month, and carry every day.
Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com. Guys are saying that the poll should have included a default. So let's see who won. The options were, who's going to win? Instagrams, or why isn't it showing me the poll? What happened to my own poll? Is that how slow my computer is? Aren't you seeing it? Oh, you're not seeing it because I'm not screen sharing, but my poll isn't coming up, so I can't tell what's happening. I'm looking at the wrong channel, that's why. Let me go look at my own channel and not the wrong channel. So when I look at my channel and look at the poll, the results are, oh snap, YouTube beat up Instagram 89% to 11. Wow. So I'm not saying Instagram's a punk, but Instagram certainly did not win this match today. But if I would have left Come On Man as an option, I don't think they would have fought. That's like putting a bunch of ants in a jar and not shaking. So I figured if I didn't want to put a bunch of ants in the jar and just look at it, I put a bunch of ants in the jar and then made everybody shake it up. So turns out when you put a bunch of YouTube ants in a jar with a bunch of Instagram ants, the YouTube ants are going to eat 88% of the Instagram ants. Oh, Patriots aren't out there, so we'll throw one of these in there. Hold on. One of this right here.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio